Welcome back. I'm meteorologist Jaclyn Whittal. Some of our top stories. Well, there was a tornado was many reports of tornadoes yesterday, but the tornado drought that we've been talking about, on average, March has 80 tornadoes throughout the United States. Up until yesterday, we had 0. Well, we've had many reports, now 7 reports. So this drought has ended, unfortunately. Not great news for people that live there. Coming up later on today, I'm going to talk to Mark Robinson about this tornado that happened in Moore and a little bit about our experience in Moore when we were there for the last big one, an EF5 in 2013. Will rain hurt or help? Is that good news this time of year or bad news? Patio weather. That's on the way too, but only for some. Okay, let's go right to that tornado story. It is one of our top stories. It is what they call that. And so that's one of the 7 reports. Now, sometimes with reports, we've got a lot of people reporting the same storm, so we'll see what the National Weather Service comes out with as far as the official reports. But we are watching, this is the same storm, basically. It's the same cold front that's working its way through now the Ohio Valley. Heavy rain associated to this. Mixing is happening. Snow is happening. I've had some reports on Twitter. Kingsville, Ontario, now reporting some fresh, fluffy flakes. I know we don't like to see that. That's a national look at your satellite and radar. There's some moisture out on the west. We'll address that, and a cold front on the east coast too. But west coast, nothing new. 60 to 100 millimeters for areas like Bella Bella, Port Hardy, Tofino, about 30 to 60. And then the snow in Winnipeg, of course. This is thanks a lot. Barbecue's not thanking you, though, for that snow. All right, let's see. Saskatoon, 3 to 5 centimeters is what you picked up over the last few days. Regina, a fresh 12 to 16 centimeters. Yeah, all right. So temperatures, well, here's the good news. You'll be cold north of this warm front, but watch as temperatures get back into those yellows over the next few days. Yeah, big warm up for our friends in the west with a wind shift. Let's go to that storm now. This, again, is the same one that moved through the U.S. plains. This is now the top side of the low. So the active weather was along the cold front. This is some heavy rain working its way through Hamilton, now switching over to some snow. At least that's what the radar thinks. Anyone wants to give me an update, I'd love to hear from you. But yeah, I've had reports of Kingsville, Ontario getting into some snow. We could easily get 1 to 2 centimeters this afternoon through Ontario. What happens is sometimes the atmosphere will support snow just because the air is cooling. So we have evaporation from the surface, cools the air around it. Boom, now your rain is now snow. It's kind of how it happens. So cold front working its way through Nova Scotia. You could see a little bit of mix there as well. And also Halifax, we're looking at some rain. Okay, no limits. It's a new segment coming up. Here we go. It's my favorite time of day. It's Share Your Weather time. This happens at 13 minutes past the hour at 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. I'm meteorologist Jaclyn Whittal. Usually I ask a question on Twitter. I get some responses. A photo is ideal. Send it to jwhittaltwn, and then I give you a personalized forecast. So let's begin. A couple photos I want to highlight. Steve Lanson says huge flakes are falling in Kingsville, and he sent that to me this morning. So thank you for the weather update, Steve. We love that when our viewers engage with us with updates. Rain while on holiday in Suffolk in the United Kingdom, but even the ducks are swimming in the puddles. Thought that was kind of cute. So thank you very much. And Jeff McConnell, he's from Verdon. He's actually the Verdon, Manitoba mayor. A beautiful day in Verdon, even after yesterday's snow. He sent me this. Beautiful shot. Nice cumulus clouds. So what are we talking about for Verdon? For you, Jeff McConnell, -2. Partly cloudy. The snow will be coming to an end. And a good Thursday morning to you. Not a great Wednesday for many in the United States who dealt with tornadoes yesterday. That was the first time in March that we have had any tornado reports. Still waiting for official numbers, and I'm going to talk about that coming up in just a second. But let's get into your forecast right across the country. On the west coast, we're looking at some rain, obviously. We've been talking about that the last few days. Quite a bit, 60 to 100 millimeters of rain possible. And then into Toronto, we're looking at some rain and mixing out with some snow. Let's go to North Vancouver, though. Want to make sure that you stay on the slopes that are safe. So stay on those resorts. Don't go into the backcountry. We do have a special public avalanche warning in place. That's because the snowpack is unpredictable right now. It's unstable. And we've already heard of some fatalities over last weekend. So be careful out there. Okay, let's continue our story here. Let's take a look at the rainfall. Tofino, about 60 millimeters for you. Bella Bella, more. Vancouver, a little less for you this time. And things are going to be clearing out. In fact, you'll get some sunny breaks probably on Saturday, partly cloudy anyway. Another system moves in by Sunday. That's a look ahead for you, and high pressure down to the south. Get ready for a nice bump in temperatures for a lot of people in the prairies, which is great news. All right, I'm going to continue here with a 7-day forecast for Edmonton. Look at these temperatures warming up, right? Lots of sunshine and back into maybe some mixed precipitation by midweek. Same deal for you in Regina. Really enjoy that warm-up. So sunny days ahead. You know what? It certainly wasn't a sunny day. The people of Moore, it was only about a year ago, May 2013, May 20th, that they had an EF5 rip through the same area. So it is common that Moore does get hit. It got a hit in 1999, but to get hit just so soon after that major EF5, just a sad situation for people. There have been no fatalities in Moore. However, there was another tornado reported in Sand Springs, Oklahoma. That's just west of Tulsa. There was one fatality there. That's a look at the tornado. I'm going to go back to Moore here because what we see here is what we call a velocity couplet. Down at the bottom here, this is the radar image here. And that shows us inbound and outbound winds. Now, you can't really see the legend there, but that is clearly where the tornado is, and that velocity couplet is what we call it. So I was glued to the radar watching this last night, as many were, kind of doing some storm chasing via computer. But just an awful story. I'm actually going to be talking to Mark Robinson about this, but we're really glad that the people in Moore made out relatively okay, other than some damage, probably around an EF1, EF2 is what I'm thinking. And we'll get an official assessment by the National Weather Service. Okay, so today, unsettled, moving through Ontario. Yes, you are looking at some showers, potentially switching over to some snow in Oklahoma. That's one of our top stories today. So the tornado drought has finally come to an end. And what we mean by that is normally in March, you get about 80 tornadoes in the United States. Up until yesterday, there have been 0. So very quiet year, which is great for people that live there. But now that has ended. Will rain hurt or help your forecast? Do you want to melt away some snow? What about the potential for flooding? We'll talk about that. And how about patio weather? Only for some, but people are looking forward to that. Okay, let's go to our cloud tops here. This is our infrared satellite, shows where our storms are. These are basically measuring or sensing the coldest temperatures in our clouds up in the atmosphere. So you can see the darker ones. There's some heavy convection over the Gulf of Mexico, and we have some cloud tops over on the East Coast as well. Some moisture moving into Ontario, but let's begin with our story on the West Coast. 60 to 100 millimeters, Metro Van, about 15 to 30. A little bit soggy, and then this afternoon, though, you'll get into some clear breaks, 15 degrees, partly cloudy. Calgary, your long range looks amazing. 9 degrees for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week is pretty well, or I guess 8 will be the coldest you'll be in your long range. Friday, what a great way to start the weekend off. 18 degrees, partly cloudy. Blowing and drifting snow. We did have winds around 70 kilometers per hour. Regina, you picked up a fresh 12 to 16 centimeters over the last few days. And Brandon, you also picked up about 6 centimeters. Today, we have another system moving through. It's a developing low, developing warm front. North of the front, it's going to be snow, mixed precipitation. It should be pretty light in nature until it gets to Manitoba. That's where we expect it to just drop a little bit more snow. Not a lot, but definitely expect some snow, especially through Brandon. Expect some snow through this afternoon into southwestern Ontario. Even though you may have heard us say, well, it might be more rain. Maybe other people are talking about rain. It's potentially going to be rain, but there's a potential we could pick up 1 or 2 centimeters of snow with this. So a heads up, because we know how the 401 can get pretty, slippery with those types of weather conditions. We have straight rain for Halifax this afternoon, Sydney, mixing along this southern shores of Newfoundland, and then snow to the rest of Newfoundland. As we get into the evening and the overnight, we are looking at basically the same kind of messy mix. So snow to the north, there's that warm line that separates to the rain and to the mixed. And then this is how much rain, about 15 to 25 millimeters of rain. All right, we leave you with this. This is a topical view of last night's tornado over Moore, Oklahoma. It's a good Thursday morning. I'm meteorologist Jaclyn Whittal. Let's get you into your current systems. We do have a big storm moving through Ontario, and that's going to bring some rain and potentially snow. That's a storm, though, that brought all the active weather in the United States, including tornadoes. We'll talk about that. Bella on the west coast, lots of rainfall, 60 to 100 millimeters of rain, about 30 for you in Vancouver. And just looking into Ontario with that storm, the reason we have a snow map here is because some of that rain could mix out with some snow. You could get a fresh 1 or 2 centimeters of snow. So just be careful on the road. On the East Coast, we're looking at about 15 to 25 millimeters of rainfall. This is the system that has a cold front up here, and then another round of rain moving in next. So, okay, I mentioned the tornadoes yesterday. Yes, just 13, just an awful thing to see. 1 fatality in Sand Springs, Oklahoma. That's just west of Tulsa. There were 4 in Oklahoma and 3 in Arkansas. Now, we'll give you an update and see if any of that changes in terms of reports. But let's take a look right across the country here. It is unsettled through Ontario. On the west coast, we have that rain. But let's go to Rachel Schutzen, who gives us an update in Hamilton, Ontario.
Hey, Chris. Yes, a rainy day throughout southern Ontario. You'll need the umbrella. You'll need the rain boots throughout the day as well.
All right, thanks to Rachel Schutzen. Look who's with me. Chris Murphy. What, did you just bring something for me?
Actually, this was sent to me.
You?
That's
okay.
right. Well, it was my birthday the other day, and Pat Souls, what I call Aunt Pat from Winnipeg.
Okay.
Sent this from Edible Arrangements, and oh, it smells
Well, I don't
delicious.
think you smell it. I just think you eat it.
You do.
I'm going to
It
take
is.
a grape.
So, Pat, I love you. Thank you so much.
I love you too.
There you
Thanks a
go.
lot, Chris. Enjoy the rest of your day, and happy birthday again to you. Now I've got a grape in my mouth. 1 to 2 centimeters plus through Ontario. This is the system. Again, that's the same storm that had the cold front that dragged all the way into Oklahoma and spawned that severe weather. But we are looking at just the top northwest side of the storm, bringing in a couple centimeters of snow. Winds will be out of the west. And then look at this, a little bit of lake effect behind it. So, yeah, that's we're not done with that yet either. As we get a little warmer, our lakes open up a little more. And then, boom, we're back into some lake effect snow. All right, mixed precipitation possible, but you will be at around 4 degrees. Always keep in mind that you don't need 0 to get snow. A snowflake can sustain itself right into temperatures like 3 and 4 degrees at the surface. So that's that. 4 in St. Catharines, mixed precipitation and snow through Newfoundland. Speaking of snow, we're going to leave you with this. This is coming up. Well, it's a good Thursday morning for us here in Canada. We do have lots of good news and a little bit of bad news to talk about. Let's get into our storms. This is called the System Showdown. It's a segment where I get you out in front of every storm, time it out for you, and prepare you for what you can expect. We'll talk about, look at those tulips. Isn't that gorgeous out there? I'm so envious living in Ontario. Yeah, we have begin with the West Coast. We will see those showers, some heavy rain for the West Coast, western shores of Vancouver Island. There's the front that moves in, and higher elevation snow, and then another round of rain by Friday afternoon for you, and Friday evening for you in Metro Van. So there's a look at how much. 30 to 60 millimeters of rain, not out of the question for parts of the western side of the island. Inland, though, where Metro Van is, about 15 to 30. Bella Bella, obviously quite a bit. Nothing uncommon for this time of year, and it helps those tulips. All right, let's continue to track into the east. Let's go to the prairies. Regina, I know your barbecue's like, oh, I don't like this snow, if barbecues could talk, but they don't. Warm front moving through Saskatoon, La Ronge. We will see just some light snow along that frontal boundary, but once it gets into Brandon by Friday afternoon, it looks like we'll see potential for some not heavy snow, but heavier than, say, what Saskatchewan's going to get. Let's take a look at this low. This is the low that spawned right here. It's going to be one of those situations where we have this, the low that's just sort of tracking along the Erie and Ontario shoreline, and the model's picking up on rain. But because we have colder air coming in from the north and much drier air, we have something called evaporative cooling that can take place. That means that even though it might look like we might get rain, won't rule out the chance of a few centimeters of snow. So keep an eye on that. It's already beginning in these areas. So 1 to 2 centimeters through this afternoon. Take you to the east coast, where they're seeing a cold front work its way through from the low all the way up to the north. Some scattered flurries, and then a round of messy mixed precipitation. We'll dig into that. That begins overnight. All right, it's a Thursday. Here are our 3 top stories today. Tornado drought in the States has ended. What do we mean by that? Well, in March, usually the U.S. gets about 80 tornadoes. Until yesterday, they had 0. Yesterday, now there's been 7 reports. We'll talk about that. Will rain hurt or help your forecast? And by that, you know, we worry about flooding this time of year. Or maybe you just want to wash away the snow. Depends. Patio weather, only for some, unfortunately, not for all of us. Hang in there. You know what? It's going to get a little better. It has to, right? We're going into April. Okay, let's take a look at the jet stream. Right now, we have a very amplified kind of pattern, and that means that we have warm air moving out west under the ridge and cold air still with this trough in the east. We have some rain both on the west coast and through Ontario today. I'll show you that in just a second, but 60 to 100 millimeters of rain expected on the western coast of BC and Vancouver. We've all been there. Thanks, Gary and Marietta. Appreciate the eyes on the ground there in your backyard. Regina, 12 to 16 centimeters is what you picked up Tuesday through Wednesday. Brandon picked up a fresh 6 centimeters. Will it melt? Let's take a look. Temperature contrast here. Well, we see a big push of mild air right into Alberta. That warm front moves through Saskatchewan as well. You'll get a taste of the warmer air. Look at this yellow. We like yellow. We love orange, but we like yellow. We'll take it. Eastern parts of Canada still looking at a cool pattern. This afternoon, we're looking at wet flurries, and that's potential 1 or 2 centimeters or just straight rain along the Erie shoreline and the Ontario shoreline. But let's go back to our top story in this area. And all the children are fine, but you know, just an awful day, especially for our friends in Moore, Oklahoma, where they just got hit in 2013 with an EF5. Likely probably an EF2 is what a lot of people are thinking. That's what rolled through Moore yesterday, but we'll wait for the National Weather Service to figure that out. Speaking of the National Weather Service, Oklahoma usually gets 5, Arkansas gets 4 in March. So yesterday we saw 4 in Oklahoma and 3 in Arkansas. All right, let's, I think I circled, there we go, that's Arkansas. Let's go to another shot here I want to show you here. This is the damage in Moore, Oklahoma. So obviously this is what EF2 damage looks like. The structures are still standing, but there's roofs and power lines down, shingles blown all over the place. So yeah, I mean, no fatalities, which is great. Very little serious injuries, I'm told, from the local hospital there, but still. Share your weather time. That's, by the way, a new feature we're running called No Limits by Deb Mediechka. It looks really cool. This is really cool, too. You tweet me a photo at JWhittalTWN or a video, and then if I select your photo, I give you a personalized forecast. So I got a couple submissions I want to show you here. Andy Harris says, rain while on holidays in Suffolk in the UK, and even the ducks swim in puddles. I thought that was kind of cute. And then this one from Verdon, Saskatchewan. I think this is the actual Verdon mayor, Jeff McConnell. He says, a beautiful day in Verdon, even after yesterday's 4-letter word. That means snow, of course, and a beautiful shot, though. So you know what? It is pretty. Lots of sunshine later on after it clear out. Thank you very much. Let's take a look at your personalized forecast. -2 for Verdon. It'll be partly cloudy, and your long range, you do have a warm up. All right, an update on the flooding situation in Tweed, Ontario. Here's Kelly. And all you need to do is look at the jet stream for the answer to that. I'm meteorologist Jaclyn Whittal. It's mild out west. It's going to continue that way for the rest of the week. And that's because of this ridge of high pressure. Once again, same pattern we've been in for seems like months now. Cold in the east, so that dip in the jet stream. This is the storm that brought the tornadoes through Oklahoma and Arkansas yesterday. We'll talk about that in a minute. All right, that's the good news part of the story. The bad news part of the story is we have had a few fatalities since last weekend, over the weekend, due to avalanche danger. So, you know, it's unpredictable snowpack right now. It's new and the old snow, and it's all unstable. And when we get these melting, you know, sprees, it doesn't take much to dislodge some of that snow, and it can be fatal. So be careful out there. Stay on the, resorts and stay where you should be. Don't go into the off, out in the open and out in the rural areas if you can. Okay, Bella, Port Hardy, looking at heavy rain, 60 to 100 millimeters. Vancouver, less, 15 to 30. And let's play things out for you for Friday. Back into some showers. Saturday, some sunny breaks, looks like. And then back into another round of rain for you, Vancouver, on Sunday. High pressure builds in. Get ready for it, prairies. You're going to have a nice big warm up, and we like that. 11 degrees for Friday. This is Edmonton. 6 for Saturday, a little cooler but nice still. Up to 12 with partly cloudy conditions on Sunday. It's going to be nice. Regina, much of the same. Not quite as warm, but we'll take it, right? Still very nice, but back into another cooler pattern by Wednesday. Plus 4 with -1 as the feels like temperature. Okay. I suspect, just speaking to other meteorologists and storm chasers, that this one will probably be at an EF2 level. Roofs were torn off, power lines down, lots of damage, but all structures still basically intact. So that's good news. And we've only had 1 fatality. No fatality is good news, obviously, west of Tulsa, Oklahoma. But considering that there may have been 7 tornadoes reported, I guess, it could have been much worse. 5 tornadoes normally in Oklahoma, and we have about 4 in Missouri this time of year. Well, yesterday we had 3 in Arkansas and 4 in Oklahoma. And I just want to go and show you a couple more things about this because I want to show you a visual on the tornado that moved through west of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Look at that. I mean, that's like something that we would see in May, deadly day, not a good day for many in the plains, but there'll be many more, unfortunately, as we gear up for May, which is the peak of their storm season. Unsettled through Ontario today. I want to give you a note that this is additional snowfall that we still could see, possibly 1 to 2 plus centimeters. Of course, with events like this, and all you need to do is look at the jet stream for the answer to that. I'm meteorologist Jaclyn Whittal.